Hello and welcome to the Culture Swally, a podcast dedicated to Scottish news and pop culture. My name is Nicky, and I'm joined as always by the man who is the Romeo to my Juliet. It's Greg. How are you today, buddy?
I'm pretty good. Recording on a Tuesday, which is unusual.
Yeah.
If every time like an episode is released before we've recorded the next episode, it always feels like a really long time since we've recorded. And I suppose in reality, it's probably not that long. But yeah, like I'm always a bit surprised when I get my Apple Podcast notification and say that a new episode's out. I'm like, fucking hell already, you know what I mean?
But we always do it that way. The episode comes out on the Thursday and we usually record on that weekend.
Do we? Do we not usually like...
No.
Do we not used to? Oh, okay.
No, because then it gives me longer time to edit. So
right.
But I know what you mean. It does seem, it's because normally it would have been the weekend we would have recorded. So it's into the next week.
Yeah,
so it does feel a little bit longer. But yeah, it does. It does feel a bit strange.
But I think we did Man Dancing. Still available wherever you get your podcast. I think we did that episode in a weekday as well, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I can't remember what day that was, but yeah, we did do that on a weekday. Yeah.
So
that was it. I was trying to remember because how ridiculous is that? It was the last episode that came out because one of my news articles links back to, spoiler alert, to something from Man Dancing. And I was trying to think, I was like, what was it we did last week? But yeah, Man Dancing. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, no, everything is okay. Everything's fine. Not being still, obviously we still live under the cloud of this Iranian nonsense. Is it going to kick off again? Are they going to reach a negotiation? Blah, blah, blah. Who knows? So yeah, it's kind of grounded, not been anywhere, not been anything interesting. Oh, I did get absolutely hammered a couple of weeks ago. And I came home. And I remember getting home fine, got home fine. My wife was in bed. My daughters were not around, so I thought, right, I'm going to get undressed down the stairs. And I'll go to the toilet down the stairs and I'll get my water and then I can just slip into bed like a ninja and not wake up my wife. And I don't think it was when I got into bed, but at some point in the night, apparently, I decided to sleep at the end of the bed because I don't know why. My wife is, as you know how women like to keep a nice bed with many a blanket and cushion and pillow and everything. Yeah. So my wife is no different, and she's got a sort of blanket that is over the end of the bed. I don't know why. But just because it looks nice.
Is it a weighted blanket? Like a weighted...
No, it's not weighted. No, it just sits there. I mean, usually I end up putting it back on the bed in the morning because it kind of gets kicked off in the night when movements and things. But yeah, I decided to kind of climb under that. So I was lying across the bed.
Okay, tell us how vigorous your lovemaking is. Movements in the night.
So yeah, obviously that didn't go down very well. But yeah, it's rare that... It's been a long time since I had that much to drink, so I think I'm probably all right. Once in a blue moon.
One of the best things about that, Greg, is you probably didn't hear because you've got your headphones on, but for the good first section of that story, there was an ice cream van outside playing their jingle. And I won't be able to edit that out, so I'm going to have the lovely accompaniment. I really hope it's picked up. For the first time ever, I fucking hope it's picked up because it's a wonderful little background music to your story. Oh, Jesus, fucking hell, man.
I know.
Shocking.
I mean, it was fine. Look, when I go out these days, if it's available, it tends to be Guinness that I drink because as I've got a bit older, I find like with lager, I can have like one lager or two lagers, but if I have more than that, the next day, I kind of feel it a bit. With Guinness, because it's comparatively weaker, I can have maybe 4 or 5 and not be a wee bit loose. But it's enough to drink. Go home. Get up in the morning. Feel fine. I very rarely drink spirits. I maybe have like a whiskey. Get one whiskey on my own. That would be it. I wouldn't have whiskey on top of other drinks anymore. And I certainly don't mix wine and beer. It's one or the other. But for whatever reason that night, I had maybe 5 pints of Guinness, which is probably 1 or 2 too many. Then I shared some red wine with somebody who'd had enough beer. we paid the bill. And by this time it's like 10 o'clock, by the way. It's not even late. And I'm like, right, I'm going to get myself up the road. But we had been talking about whiskies, and one of the guys that I was with was like, oh, let's get a whiskey. I'll pay for them. I said, we've already paid the bill. No, I'll get these. These are on me. So I was like, right, fine. I'll just have one. I'm going to go to the toilet. But then I found out the next day that he'd bought doubles. So I drank my whiskey, and obviously by the time I got home, it had assimilated itself into my psyche and movements and everything. And the upshot is that I had a bit of a headache the next day, shall we say? The Saturday was a bit of a tomato soup day.
Oh, very good. Oh, well, I'm glad you've, very good. I'm glad you recovered and everything's okay, man. Well.
And of course, just before we started recording, we're obviously talking about your little pilgrimage, bringing your girlfriend to Scotland to watch Curaçao in Scotland play and get a wee look around Edinburgh and Glasgow when you're there. That'll be nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, as we just discussed before started recording, we're going to record the next episode before I even go. So it's a bit of a time loop. That episode will come out when I'm back. But on the following episode, we'll be able to discuss, my trip to Scotland. But I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Awesome. Yeah, just back for like a three nights. But I'm really looking forward to going to Scotland and being able to show some of the sights. And it's been, exciting looking at places and thinking, we need to go here. And I want to go here. And just little places, and places we discovered in Edinburgh last time as well that I want to nip into and have a look. Might go back to that
music shop in the
I want to go back, see if they've got that Kim Wilde t-shirt I liked.
Well, just be careful that you don't end up making news when you're there. Just get some news to read on the pod when you come back.
I won't be making any news. I will just be getting news. Yes, for the pod. I'll try and find some snippets of gold when I'm there. Either that, or it'll just be stories taken from the Sunday Mail that I've bought in Edinburgh Airport on the way home. Well, speaking of news, shall we have a look at what's been happening in Scotland over the last couple of weeks?
Cue the jingle.
Hello, this is the Outer Hebrides Broadcasting Corporation, and here is what's been going on in the news.
Okay, Greg, what have you seen in Scotland over the last couple of weeks that's caught your eye?
Well, this is just a short little story. It comes from the Scottish Sun on the 10th of May, almost 9 days ago now. And the headline reads, "Step by Step, Bizarre Festival Takes Over Scots City Centre Park for the 5th year in a row." Dozens of locals in a Scots city flocked to a busy park for a bizarre festival on May the 9th. Ladders Fest celebrated its 5th year at the Meadows in Edinburgh. Oh, you'll be gutted that you missed that. The unusual festival is dedicated to ladders and takes place in the same place every May. It was first started by former Edinburgh University student Daniel Lawrence half a decade ago. A description about the event on Facebook read, "Bring your ladder to the Meadows," brackets just off Middle Meadow Walk at 3 p.m. on Saturday the 9th of May. Just under 50 people appeared to respond to the event page on the social media platform. Pictures from the event yesterday showed dozens of people hanging out in the park, either standing or sitting on their ladders. One passerby told Edinburgh Live, "I was just passing through the Meadows when I noticed a big group of people climbing ladders."
It would catch your eye.
It would catch your eye. I thought, wow, that's a first. Some of them were extremely high up in one of the tall trees near Middle Meadows Walk. I was confused, but also really intrigued. I didn't know what they were doing or why, but everyone seemed to be having a really good time doing it. So that's basically the story. Yeah, there's a photograph of about, me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. About just over between 20 and 25 people all posing for a picture on what looks like a really nice sunny day in the Meadows in Edinburgh with their ladders.
I need to know more about this. Like, I'm kind of fascinated by this.
Well, the odd thing is that the ladders that I can see, I mean, there's nothing, none of them are sort of painted in vibrant sort of psychedelic colours or anything. I mean, they're just ladders.
All like different sizes, shapes,
different
colour,
ones, yeah.
yeah, just standard ladders.
Standard ladder. There are some like the sort that you might have at home, you know, in your garage. Maybe the ones that kind of fold out, like maybe go up about 7 or 8 feet from the ground. Yeah. There are the ones, the kind of telescopic ones that a window cleaner might use, or someone might use to get up to do your drains, that somebody must be holding up because there's somebody right at the top of that one. I don't know what. It seems to be leaning against something. But yeah, just there's a lovely red set of ladders there.
I mean, all I can think of is what a great opportunity in like the park to have like a money in the bank ladder match for something. It'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just write some sort of gift voucher in a briefcase and, you know, suspend it from a tree and off you go. Yeah.
We can see which of these Ladderfest enthusiasts are going to be the ones to get a title shot against Cody Banks or someone like that. At the next WE event. Cody Rhodes, sorry, not Cody Banks. That's Freddie Thingy.
Agent Cody Banks. Fucking brilliant.
Sorry. I should have said Cody Rhodes, of course.
It's quite all right. That's fantastic. I think I'm going to call him Cody Banks from now on. Fucking brilliant. Yeah. I need to find out more about this. I'm going to be scouring Reddit and then trying to read up on Ladders Fest and see what the deal is. This sounds amazing. I love shit like this.
It's an unusual thing to be incredibly enthusiastic about. You know what I mean? I can understand being quite proud of your ladders because, I don't know, they're sturdy and you feel secure when you have to climb up them to perform some kind of task. But to be so enthusiastic as to take them into town to the meadows, well, look, it takes all sorts.
Maybe there's some significance in these ladders. Maybe they were standing on the ladder stripping wallpaper when their partner proposed, or maybe they had sex on the ladder, or I don't know, you know, maybe there's some sort of significance.
I don't know. Maybe there's an ex-WE wrestler in there who got to keep his ladder from a Money in the Bank. I don't see anybody I recognise. They're all a bit too far away though. From the lens, I mean, you know.
That's the problem, because you've got to get the ladders in. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, can't really see. But then, I don't know, maybe they don't want to be identified. It's an odd one to explain at work, isn't it? On a Monday, I saw you in the paper there. Ladder Fest?
Oh, it was just a joke. I was just passing through with a ladder and I got roped into it. I have no idea. Fucking king head organiser of the event. Sick ladder pervs. It's only going to be a matter of time before Farage turns on these ladder perverts and their sick fantasies and they're using the ladders to help get the boats over and shit like that.
Using our ladders to help people off the dinghies and to, to save illegal immigrants from hotels as the mobs throw petrol bombs into the lobby. So that's my story, my first story this week about Ladders Fest. What's your story this week?
My first story comes from Glasgow Live this week, Greg, and the headline reads, it's funny enough you were just mentioning something almost similar. Shock brawl breaks out in Glasgow plant shop as feral youths throw punches and stock. A plant shop owner in Glasgow's West End has said he didn't know what to do when a brawl between two male youths broke out in his store. Jordan Traynor, who owns Plantique on Dumbarton Road in Partick, was enjoying a lovely quiet Wednesday afternoon when he said the youth sprinted into his shop, throwing punches and boxes of his stock at each other. There were around 6 customers, minding their own business, in the shop when the incident took place around 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Jordan said he added that they all got a shock when the brawl, which may have begun outside, made its way into the premises. The 26-year-old, known on social media as Jordan the Plant Guy, told Glasgow Live, "Some young boy was obviously running from someone, for whatever reason, and I thought it'd be a good idea to run into the shop. He ran so fast right to the back, he nearly knocked someone over, and we got a bit of a fright. And then 2 seconds later, another guy came chasing him, and they just started fighting at the back of my shop." Jordan thinks that the young men were in their late teens or early 20s and were wearing tracksuits. One landed some heavy punches on the other. During the fight, he added. Jordan continued, they were throwing boxes of my stock and everything. We didn't want to approach them because they were in the middle of a fight. The guy was getting punched and we didn't know what to do. It happened so quick. By the time one of the customers tried to help, they ran out again. It was a bit unexpected for a Wednesday afternoon. One of Jordan's elderly customers, who was in the plant shop at the time, was a little bit shaken by the incident, but the plant seller said she was able to laugh it off afterwards. He added, she was a wee bit shocked, but she did laugh afterwards. I try to see the funny side of things, because it happens a lot in this area. I tried to laugh it off. It's not too serious. Jordan added that the young men seemed physically okay as they both ran out of the premises and no significant damage was made to the shop. He decided against going to the police. Yeah, but you went to the fucking papers, given that the incident was over so fast and the use didn't seem injured. Jordan added, luckily nothing was damaged and everyone was fine after. It's never a boring day in Partick. I think Jordan's just made this up to get some little publicity for Plantique. I should bleep that. I won't, because I quite like the name Plantique. Fair play, Jordan, I suppose. But
Plantique of Partick.
Plantique of Partick, yeah. Hey, yeah, fair play, Jordan. Let us know if you made that up. But that's brilliant. Just a rammy in a plant shop. It's like something you'd expect to see in a cartoon or a TV series. Just it comes in the shop and then goes out again. You know, some poor woman's shaken up, but she's laughing about it later on.
It's just like a big ball of smoke with like fists and feet poking out of it as it rolls through the shop. People getting sucked into it and spat out again.
But thankfully, like any plants or boxes that got sucked in, they were put back and, you know, where they were, there was no damage done. It was all good. So, yeah, a harmless crime. It wasn't even a crime. Well, maybe it was. I don't know.
Well, but, it sounds like somebody got assaulted, but...
yeah, it does, yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah, I think, yeah, sounds like a lovely little thing to happen. It's definitely a story, you know. It's a story that Jordan will be dining out on for quite some time.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Good for him. I remember when I was at school. I don't know if your school did this. I think some schools still do it, but like the week before the summer holidays, our school called them activity days, right? And you could pick, and it could be anything from like an overnight trip away to building a garden shed to all these sporty things, whatever. Yeah. And one year, this is when I was at school in Aberdeenshire, it was a trip to Glasgow. And it was mad, me hassling my mum to go, because I was going to Glasgow like 2 weeks later to see my dad. But my mates were going. But crucially, the only boys that signed up for this trip were me and my three mates. James, Barry and David Henderson. Okay. The rest, it was girls, right? I see. I would love to tell you that there was lots of kissing and canoodling going on, but that would be a lie because there wasn't any. There was lots of like, you know, we were quite popular in terms of being in the back seat of the bus and having a laugh with the girls and everything else, and but yeah, there was no romance, unfortunately. But anyway. Apart from the first day, we went to the Borough Collection, we went to the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery, we went to the Transport Museums. It used to be right across the road from the art gallery, and then they took us to see 4 Weddings and a Funeral that night at the cinema. Oh wow, okay. And then the next day, we had some free time to go around the shops in the city centre. So I wanted to go to HMV in Argyle Street and buy a couple of CDs, and so did my friend David Henderson. So we did. And then we're walking back through the St Enoch Centre, and outside Bargain Books, these 2 young guys who were definitely younger than me and David started having a fight. Now, of the 3 of us, I was the only one who had been to Glasgow before, and obviously coming from Glasgow and stuff. And, you know, I don't know if Glasgow held this sort of mysticism or this kind of stigma when you were young at school before you went there for yourself. But certainly in Aberdeenshire, everybody thought Glasgow was like a kind of crime-ridden, violent slum, right?
We only had Taggart to go on.
Yeah, I was called a rat muncher on more than one occasion because I came from Glasgow. And so David was like, oh my God. And then so we're just stood watching these boys having a bit of a punch up outside Bargain Books when their mothers appeared. Like, separated them. I don't know if they were cousins or something, because one of the mothers called them a pair of bastards. And I tend to think that you wouldn't necessarily say that to some random kids in front of their mum, even if you were calling your own son a bastard. But it was just, I mean, of all the weirdest places to have a fight, I'd love to know what it was about that it couldn't wait until they got past Bargain Books. The tempers were high, obviously.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Wow. Oh well, at least you got to see something and show off to your friends. This is my city. This is where I'm from.
Happens every day, you know. I was going to wade in, but somebody might have got hurt if I.
That wee thing, that was nothing. I didn't even bat an eyelid at that. Well, never mind. Let's go. Let's go and try and get some woodbine from somewhere.
Yeah. Let's go and get some Wreck the Hoose juice for the bus.
Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, everything worked out well for Jordan, and I hope Plantique saw an increase in business. What else have you seen this week, buddy?
Well, before I go on to my story, you're going to be gutted that you didn't know about this before you booked your trip to Scotland, but you could have you could have stayed in a Tunnocks tea cake themed bedroom in the Easy Hotel in Glasgow.
Oh, wow.
The themed room features Tunnocks decor, free tea cakes, and even tea cake scented body wash, which is, can only imagine, a chocolatey body wash. But yeah, so you'll be gutted that you didn't know about that before.
You kind of laugh at this, Greg, but my girlfriend did ask me the other day about, is there a Tunnocks shop? And I was like, do you mean like for Tunnocks stuff? No, like Tunnocks stuff. And I was like, well,
like swag, merch.
Yeah, I was like, well, the factory, but we don't have time and that, and there is like a bakery there, but there's stuff definitely I know in Glasgow. I said, but I don't know if we'll have time and can't buy it before we go to the football, maybe if we're on the way back. I'm certain there'll be somewhere in Edinburgh we'll get something. It's,
airport duty free will have stuff.
Yeah. So I'll definitely get, but I don't know what specifically looking for, but I think just something cool. I think because we saw something on Uniqlo's webs or something on TikTok that they were doing, but it was last year, so I don't think it'll be on now, but they were doing like a little service of the embroidering like a little tea cake onto your jumper and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was really cool. I would have, if it's still been on, I would definitely have got something. But yeah. Anyway, so might have stayed in a Tunnocks room. You never know.
I'll tell you where, if you have the time, you might want to go. If you're in the city centre and you go up Buchanan Galleries and you go to the top floor, there's that art shop where that I'm looking at just now, your Mr. T postcards and your Tennant's Rampant Lion came from. Yeah. You may find some cool Tunnocks themed stuff there.
Yeah. I think, because I thought about going before we go to the football to see if we saw anything, then making sure we went back to get it. Because
what time's kick off?
Take it to the football. 1:00. We finished by 3.
So we'll be back
still. Yeah. So I'm not worried about that. It just means, okay, we'll definitely go back. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Tunnocks room. Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Tunnocks room, Easy Hotel. They're taking bookings until August the 13th. Anyway, so as the World Cup is a mere 23 days, 3 hours, 42 minutes and 13 seconds away. I know this because the Daily Record has a World Cup countdown timer at the top of their website. Yeah. I thought I would talk about this little story about the world's first international football stadium, which is in Glasgow. It's just been given protected status, and it's the original Hampden Park with toilets and turnstiles, which obviously served as a blueprint for other stadiums after it was built. It is on the... Well, let me read it through. Okay, so the world's first international football stadium in Glasgow has been saved after fears it would be turned into flats on a car park. The original Hampden Park was the home of Queen's Park Football Club, not to be confused with Queen's Park Rangers, from 1873 to 1883, and even hosted Scottish Cup finals and Scotland internationals. The stadium was the first to build toilets. It must have been fucking grim before they got there. The stadium was the first to build toilets, turnstiles, and grandstands, and has been described as a blueprint for all football arenas ever since. It has been used as a bowling club since 1905, but its future was plunged into doubt as the club faced financial difficulties that was feared could lead to a commercial development. The bowling club closed earlier this year, and the site was handed back to Land Property Glasgow, a body which handles land for Glasgow City Council. However, campaigners are now celebrating after it was given listed and protected status from Historic Environment Scotland to mark its historical significance in the game. The original Hampden has been designated as a scheduled monument in recognition of its place in football history to preserve it for future generations. The aim of a scheduled monument is to preserve significant sites in Scotland as much as possible in the form they have been passed down to people in today. Dara Parsons, who's the head of designations at HES, said, "It feels timely to recognise the central role that Scotland played in the development of football and the place of First Hampden within that story. The remains of the pavilion at First Hampden are a link to the earliest days of football in Scotland and its importance to and impact on communities. It's a monument to our national game and to the origins of the modern football stadium. Significant support to preserve the ground was received following a public consultation. Mr. Parsons added, "We would like to thank everyone who took time to take part in our consultation and share their valuable contributions. We had a great response and we're looking to continue that engagement over the summer, where we will be asking people to suggest important football heritage sites from across the whole of Scotland for us to investigate." Before Queen's Park built the stadium the previous year, Scottish football teams would typically play on converted cricket pitches. Scotland and England had played the world's first international a decade earlier on one of these pitches in 1872. 4 years ago, an archaeological excavation found remains of the original football stadium, where Scotland famously thrashed England 5-1 in 1882. And there's a little mural celebrating that is painted on the back of the old pavilion which is now the bowling club. Lindsay Hamilton runs a walking tour company and takes customers around the 3 different Hampden Park sites that were built over the decades. She believes the original set the template for football venues since then. She said previously, "This ground is the blueprint for every football stadium that was subsequently built. Queen's Park built grandstands, toilets, turnstiles for it, and it was the first purpose-built international football stadium in the world. It was the place where season tickets were first used, or members' books as they used to call them. How we experience football today was all built at first on that site. It's of huge significance to football." Queen's Park moved to another purpose-built stadium in 1884, carrying the Hampden name with them. But Miss Hamilton says the site allows people to remain connected to the early days of football before it became a huge global game. She added, "A lot of early football landmarks in other cities have become supermarket car parks or things like that. But here you can still step on it. It's tangible. If you lose that, you lose the magic and the spark, because having the green there brings it to life. Being able to ask if you want a pint on the grounds of the original Hampden Park is something special. It doesn't look like a pitch now, but the foundations of the original stadium are there. What else can we discover? If this was in London or Rio de Janeiro or Buenos Aires, it would have its own museum there. It needs to be protected and celebrated." The National Trust for Scotland said the stadium is the place where modern football as we know it was created. So there you go. Of course, there is the Hampden Museum in the current Hampden, which is where you and I visited years ago. It's not that far away there. But yeah, there's a really cool monument on the side of what was, I guess, the old pavilion, which I'm going to take a wee picture of and send over to you because I think you'll like it. And I'll tell you something, we're just talking there about little bits of art and stuff like that. This would be a nice one to have on taking a picture, in a wee frame and in a room. So they've got the sort of black and white drawings of
lovely.
the players, but they've got lovely red and yellow
That's nice.
Scotland scarves on there. There's even somebody with a See You Jimmy hat on, which is kind of lets it down a wee bit, but otherwise it's really nice.
Yeah, the guy at the end, it's almost like the opening credits of Cheers has been like
Yeah.
Premierified or something. It's,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I really
Yeah, it's
like
nice,
that.
right?
Yeah, it's really cool. Oh, cool.
Be a nice one having a frame into it.
Yeah. Hampden, I mean, such a wonderful history. I've never been a fan of the Hampden Stadium in it itself.
It's
but,
weird having a running track round it. You seem too far away from the pitch, don't you? Yeah.
It just lacks atmosphere. It's not a good stadium, the Hampden roar, but it's history, it's part of history, and it's wonderful.
It's when you see the old black and white photos, or I think there's even some grainy black and white footage of the old Hampden when it's like full, and it's just like just bunnets for as far as the eye can see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like men, like just all men, all kind of crammed in with their bunnets and their scarves all tied up like mufflers, and but I bet it was brilliant.
I mean, how many people do you think got hit in the face with a rattle? Because they're packed in so tight, and that's what they did. They all had rattles, so you must have some amount of eye injuries or bops on the nose with a rattle over the course of a match.
Yeah, my granda told me that they always stunk of pish because obviously there were terraced steps with rails, and people would be packed in. And would have maybe a wee half bottle in their deep pockets, or a couple of bottles of 70 or something in their pockets, and it'd be too hard to kind of fight your way through thousands of people to get to the toilets. So guys would just pish in the bottles and then just kind of try and put them down where they could, and of course they get kicked over, and all the urine would spill out. So my granda said that they just absolutely stunk of piss. They always going to football back in those days.
I mean, mate, back as far as 2006, 2007, I mean, at Pittodrie, I sat in the south stand. Like at half time, if you went up the back, the male toilets weren't very busy because you went out the back, and that's where everyone went for a smoke. And it was just a fence, and there was flats behind the fence. It was just a chain link fence, but it was just a row of just guys pissing and having a smoke. Every half time. Apparently they stopped it about 10 years ago, and it was outrage on the forums. Fucking can't even go for a piss in the back of the south stand anymore. So it was going on as long as that. So south stand, mild smell of piss. I guess that's where the opposition fans sit as well. So the North Sea breeze wafted it over to them.
Of course, last weekend was the last game, the deciding game for the Scottish Premier League. Celtic won. I think I watched it. It's, if you want, I don't think you bothered watching it, right? I mean, as much as I didn't want Celtic to win. I was kind of rooting for Hearts as the underdog. They sort of sat back really and just went, and they played for a draw, and Celtic exploited that and beat them. But the thing is, like, it's not very often that I'll sit and watch a game. The only reason I sat and watched that was because it was a exciting. Big game. It was exciting, right? So I thought I'm going to just lie on the sofa and watch this. I had nothing else on this, so I'm watching it. We've got the sound on, and my wife's kind of watching it as well. So there was a couple of times in the second half that Hearts were awarded corner kicks. So when they're setting up, getting ready, I can't remember which player was taking the kicks, but he's kind of lining up his kick. Celtic fans are letting off like a siren, right? And then when there was maybe, Celtic went a goal up, so they were winning 2-1. They were in stoppage time by this point, and the ball goes out for a throw, and for Hearts. And so the player goes to get the ball, and the Celtic ball boy is just kind of kicking the ball away from him. You know what I mean? And I thought, that's a bit shit. You know what I mean? I mean, he's probably going to win anyway. But then, of course, what's made it controversial was they, as teams will often do, and they kind of, when they really need a goal, everybody just packs in like the opposition goals, right? So the keeper's right up there as well, and the ball's cleared, and Celtic player gets it on the break. There's nobody in Hearts' half. So he scores a really easy goal to make it 3-1. There's like a minute left of play, and not all the Celtic fans, it's not fair to say that, but probably a good 200 or 300 Celtic fans invade the pitch like the game's won. So, and I didn't see it on the telly, but supposedly some of the Hearts players were roughed up and threatened and all this, so the game was, the Hearts, they were escorted off the pitch. But now, of course, everyone's kicking off because, game should have been abandoned because there was a pitch invasion and all this. These sort of talking heads, like Chris Boyd's, he's a good example, but when they're talking about football, they have to say things like, you can't have that kind of thing going on the football pitch, or, this is a game of football. You know what I mean? Like they're saying some really profound thing. You know what I mean? Like, we know you're here to talk about football. We know that. You don't have to keep, the football pitch, these football players, these football fans and all that, honestly, fuck off. We all know that you're a fucking dunce. and if you couldn't kick a ball, you'd probably be fucking, I don't know, working illegally whilst claiming the dough. But anyway, yeah, that's coming back to it. Probably got to cut all that out, but coming back to it. Yeah, a lot of nonsense. You didn't watch it? Did you watch the game, did you?
No. I was busy. I just didn't have time. But I kind of half followed it on my phone, just checked every so often. So yeah, if I'm honest, I kind of would have preferred a Celtic win because
really?
It's funnier. I fucking hate Hearts with a passion. So, and it still means Aberdeen were the last club to win, other than Rangers and Celtic. So,
right, that makes more sense.
That's probably the main reason.
But yeah, if you want to, I'm sure hopefully they'll do something nice with the original Hampden and put like a nice little monument up and a little place of interest to go and visit. It's a nice part of town now, the south side around there, around Florida and around there. So anyway, that's my second story this week. What's your next one?
I've only picked this story because we discussed this on the pod last episode when we did man dancing. And when I was looking for news stories, this popped up in Glasgow Live, and I was like, what a strange coincidence, I have to have this. So, from Glasgow Live this week, when Glasgow went daft for sunny delight till Wayne started turning yellow. So, in Man Dancing on the last episode, available wherever you get your podcasts, there was a scene where Trevor from EastEnders has a bowl of Cocoa Pops with Sunny Delight with his junkie brother. Who then becomes Jesus. He becomes Judas and then Jesus. Go and watch Man Dancing if you haven't. You won't regret it. Cosmo's in it. It's brilliant. So, yeah, we spoke briefly about Sunny Delight. So I was like, this is a sign that this is in the paper. Why? So seldom has Britain witnessed a marketing phenomenon as wildly successful as that of Sunny Delight in the late 1990s. Appearing out of nowhere, the sickly sweet juice drink was soon coining in £160 million a year as it became the mum-approved drink of choice for kids. My mum used to buy me Sunny Delight.
Does she?
Manufacturers, Procter & Gamble, were quite literally throwing money at it, and a £10 million promotional campaign ensuring Sunny Delight rose to be the third best-selling soft drink in the UK behind Coca-Cola and Pepsi. I guarantee it wasn't in Scotland, though. Launched in the UK, we wouldn't need to know about that. So, the Glasgow free samples were widely distributed around city housing estates. While the soft drink, I remember them sending out samples of Sunny Delight. I remember getting a sample. So, yeah, they did send them out. So they sent to housing estates, while the soft drink also began to latch onto local sports, sponsoring events such as children's football, tennis and basketball tournaments, giving out free Sunny Delight to participants. The adverts marketed the product as the great stuff kids go for. Millions of mums bought into the idea that Sunny Delight was better for you than traditional fizzy drinks, and within months, kids were hooked. The UK's Food Commission pointed out that Sunny Delight's high sugar content and minimal 5% real fruit juice content, and they criticised Procter & Gamble for its misleading packaging, which made Sunny Delight look similar to a pure juice drink. Then in 1999 came a turning point. Sunny Delight hit the headlines for all the wrong reasons, as it emerged that a 4-year-old girl had turned orange after drinking litres of the soft drink every day. Now, if she came from a certain side of Glasgow, some would say that is okay. So, Glasgow Live asked locals for their recollections. John Renwick said, that concoction was 95% corn syrup and less than 4% fruit juice, like giving your kids a big bag of sugar in a spoon. Kevin McBride said, I loved it at first. I thought it was proper orange juice, but it wasn't. John Ferris said, look, funnily enough, I was just talking about this marketing con. Sorry, initiative. They stored... what did you fuck, John? They stored it in chiller cabinets in the pretext that it was healthy, but in reality, it was just pure chemical trash. Sunny Delight would never bounce back from the controversy of the late 90s. Within a couple of years, sales had halved. In the 2000s, the soft drink was rebranded as Sunny D and re-emerged with a 70% fruit juice content. This was later reduced to 15%. Anyway, well, the 90s phenomenon can still be found. It can still be found in the UK supermarket shelves. Its days of occupying a prime spot in school lunchboxes, the length and breadth of the country, are well and truly over. So, Greg, there's a little history of Sunny Delight for you.
I don't think I've ever tasted Sunny Delight. I don't think.
Well, there's something, Greg, for you. It's on your wish list. There you go. I mean, you can make your dreams come true.
I'm sure I've drank fruit juices that that are probably just as bad for me as Sunny Delight was. I thought you were going to. I thought one of the people interviewed was going to be 19 stone Donald from 19 stone one-legged Donald from Easter House who grew up on Sunny Delight. Mum gave him it every morning, lunchtime and dinner time.
Aye, Sunny D
10 years.
In my bottle. I was raised on Sunny D. Aye, looking like an Oompa Loompa.
The D stands for type B diabetes as opposed to delight.
Never mind. So, it was in Glasgow Live, so it qualified as a Scottish
absolutely.
story.
I mean, I was too old for Sunny Delight, I think. When I used to get in my pack lunch cartons of Kiora when the advertising
Too orangey for crows.
Obviously the adverts a bit problematic in the 21st century now. Yeah. But catchy as fuck back in the 80s. Yeah. I would get cartons of Ribena quite often. Or sometimes I'd just get like a flask of like Robinson's cordial, which was better because it would last me longer. I could sip at it all day,
Yeah, I think I used to just get... Oh, no, I used to get the... I can't remember now. There was definitely like a Ghostbusters. And it wasn't like the Ecto Cooler, but there was definitely... that. Or I think I just got like an orange juice, like a Prince's orange juice. I was always jealous of my friend. Ross, he had... Umbungo every day.
Yeah, I was going to say Umbungo was the other one.
Yeah, my mum would never buy Umbungo.
That was also a bit dodgy as well. I think the adverts. It was all a wee bit. A
little bit.
I don't think they did drink it in the jungle.
Don't think so. It was a different time, Greg. A different time. Anyway.
I don't think I'd ever seen the jungle Umbungo.
Okay. Have you seen anything else this week, buddy?
Nope, that's all the news.
Okay, right. Before we get our mint on, let's have a little word from our sponsors.
Where can you get up to 60% off RRP every day? And see the biggest designer and high street names at prices that are 100% desirable. It's got to be Livingston Designer Outlet.
Okay, Greg, it was your choice on this week's episode, so why don't you tell us what we're going to be talking about today?
So, occasionally we'll review something brand new. It doesn't happen very often, but this week is one of those rare occurrences. So I've chosen the BBC-produced drama, I guess, that's available right now on the BBC iPlayer. And if you don't want us to ruin it, you might want to pause the pods and go and look for it if you're in the UK. Mint. I don't know why it's called Mint, but we'll get to that. It's described on IMDb as a darkly comic and unconventional drama about a crime family's inner life told through the eyes of its daughter, who's searching for love. Stars up-and-coming star Emma Laird, Swally favourite Laura Fraser, Swally debut Sam Riley, Benjamin Coyle Larner, Lindsay Duncan, and then there's appearances from Lewis Gribben, and Clive Russell, Stephen McCall, and David Carlisle. Now, normally, I would do my absolute best to watch whatever we're going to be reviewing twice. And sorry to get ahead, but I couldn't bring myself to watching this again. I literally could not wait for the last episodes. I mean, I like everybody in it. Well, that's not true, actually. I like most of the people in it. For whatever reason, it just didn't do it for me at all. And maybe I had, my hopes were too high. Yeah, I mean, let's go to you. How did you feel about Mint?
I hadn't heard about this, I don't think, until you picked it. And maybe I'd seen something, I don't know, but it didn't ring any bells. So when we recorded the last episode and I checked it and I was like, oh fuck, it's 8 episodes, because you'd been like, oh, it's only 30 minutes. I was like, fuck, it's 8 episodes. Right, okay. I was like, okay, it's fine, it's 30 minutes. So I think I started editing the pod and I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch an episode of Mint just to get started. So I sat and watched. And I ended up watching 2. And I'm the same as you. I try and watch everything twice to do for the pod. I think I've watched this 3 times.
Oh, really?
I watched it once all the way through, and then I think I've watched it at least twice, having it on in the background or whilst I was doing something.
Right.
I really like this show.
Right.
I did like it. I can see why it's unlikable. I've recommended it to my girlfriend. We watched the first episode together. That's like the 4th time I think I've seen the first episode. And it's difficult to describe this show or explain this show. It's easy to just say it's kind of like a modern day Romeo and Juliet set in Glasgow with these, set in Scotland, Grangemouth, with these 2 kind of crime families, and they can't see each other, but it's forbidden love. But then I can't tell you anything more about it. But it's not just about that. It's about the women in the kind of crime family and their role, and it's all these kind of weird swooping shots and these weird dream sequences and these strange... Look, just watch it, because I can't describe it. And I think there's some breathtakingly beautiful and whimsical moments in this, but an interesting twist, and it makes like a saturated kind of gangster and gang market with a love story attached a bit different. I really liked the style of this. What was it that didn't sit right with you?
I found it really slow. And I found it slow. I found some of the sort of arty, surreal bits. It felt a bit like the producers had watched a lot of Baz Luhrmann, particularly his Romeo and Juliet. And I don't say that because the story is a bit evocative of Romeo and Juliet, or at least the first couple of episodes are, certainly. But more just some of the kind of visual cues and things that they take, the characters floating across the park and some of these kind of dreamy moments and things. I don't know, I really just wanted to get on with the story. And it just seemed to take a really long time. And then the twists that came in, I was starting to think, well, are these just twists for the sake of twists? You know what I mean? Because if we take... So I'm just going to say again, if you haven't watched Mint and you want to watch it, then you need to stop listening right now. But if we take the twist of Sam Riley's character turning out to be in a homosexual relationship...
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's understating it. He's actually in love. And the guy he's in love with, played by David Carlisle, Tom, that I should say, is undergoing treatment for cancer. But I didn't feel like there was enough to sort of establish Dylan, played by Sam Riley, as this sort of ruthless head of a crime family. There's a wee bit when they're having the anniversary party when he gets the guys to fight each other. You know what I mean? But that's kind of it, So when it turns out that he's actually got this site, he's actually not interested in being a gangster, and and Tom is the love of his life, and he wants to be with Tom, and he wants to see Tom through his cancer treatment and everything else. He doesn't love Kat anymore and everything. I don't know. the impact, I think the desired impact just didn't hit me. Because I thought, well, it's not enough. He's not established enough as a gangster to really shock me there. You know what I mean? The only thing that happened that I didn't expect was when Aaron gets shot. Is it episode 5, I think?
End of episode 4.
End of episode 4, right. And he gets shot, and I was like, oh, okay, so that was I wasn't expecting that, right? That's unexpected. Because I had assumed that the story was going to be a bit of a kind of modern take on Romeo and Juliet, just from the first couple of episodes and things.
Yeah, I mean, to speak about the first point, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. There's not enough to establish Dylan as this fearsome crime boss. If anything, he seems like a bit of a wet blanket. The only, we see him obviously in the flashbacks with his dad, and his dad's kind of forcing him into it, and you kind of feel that Dylan's just taken over the family, probably because his dad's inside. Yeah. And his mum is obviously well in with the family. She's just as much running it, and she's kind of forced him. He needs a male figurehead. And he's never been comfortable with that. But you get a glimpse when he's speaking to Tom when they're in bed, and that's a beautiful scene when he says, the things I've done some really bad things. But I agree, I don't believe it, because I don't see that side. There's a little glimpse, as you say, at the party, there's a little glimpse at the racetrack, but again, there's not enough. Like, I totally buy him and Tom as the relationship. I totally buy him as a struggling guy who isn't a crime lord. He's a graphic designer or an architect. And he's been struggling with his sexuality. His parents have forced him into an arranged marriage, which is exactly what it is. He's had the 2 kids, and he's just decided, I can't take it anymore. He's obviously, there's a little bit when him and Tom are walking, and Tom says, I've been saying that for years. So you're okay. Okay, this is years these guys have been together. He's been living a double life all this time. I buy all of that, but you're right, I don't buy him as this big crime lord.
I've done things, Tom. I've done some bad things.
No, and Sam Riley seems more at home playing the sort of sensitive homosexual guy who's finally kind of come out the closet to his family and everything. Yeah. He seems more at home with that. Like in the early episodes when he's sort of dishing out the orders to his minions. I don't know. I didn't find him. And what I will say is, as an actor, I really like Sam Riley. I've really liked him since I saw him playing Ian Curtis in Control. I think he's really, 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 I really enjoy watching Sam Riley. But yeah, I couldn't get on board with him as the sort of head of this crime family at all. It just didn't ring true to me.
I think the only glimpse that you have is that you have to expect that these guys do follow his commands. Sam, who is a nutcase, follows what he says. He does his orders. Yeah. In terms of that, so you kind of have to believe if he's got all of these guys doing his bidding, then it must be kind of, that he does have this respect. And then, of course, Aaron's brother, he's, I don't know about scared because they're trying to go toe to toe, but, when Shannon takes the car there, Leangelo does say, you're Dylan's kid. And there's a respect there because, it's on the house. So he must be this fearsome guy. But yeah, there's not enough scene of that. I would say I kind of agree. The only thing I've seen Sam Riley in is in Control. I did look through his IMDb and I haven't seen him in anything else. I think he's great as Dylan. Initially I was griped in terms of, well, why couldn't this have gone to a Scottish actor? But yeah, there's a couple of accent slips, but other than that, I don't have a fault. I could say the same with Emma Laird as Shannon. Yeah. Well, why didn't this go to a Scottish actress? I can't fault that because I thought she was fantastic. But I did enjoy Riley's performance for half of it, but the other half, I totally buy. I just don't get it.
I think if you a good Sam Riley movie, and it's like an ensemble film, is the Ben Wheatley movie Free Fire. He's in that with Brie Larson and Arnie Hammer and Charlene Copley. That's a good film. It's like a sort of comedy. It's good. It's a bit of a comedy, bit of a sort of crime film. And it's set in the 70s and all that. It's definitely worth a watch. I really enjoyed it when I was
cool. I will add that to my list. I'll definitely watch that. Perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, like, you know, I did wonder as well. Well, you know, I wonder why they've, you know, because I don't think, because Emma Laird rather, Sam Riley and Lindsay Duncan are all English actors. And you kind of think, well, you know, I'm sure you could have found Scottish actors to play those parts. But to be fair, they're all very good. You know, Sam Riley is good in this. I don't want to take anything away from his performance, you know, but I think he's best in the latter half of it than he is in the first half.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Lindsay Duncan is, I mean, she's always good, you know, and her accent's pretty good. Yeah, the revelation for me was Emma Laird, because I'd seen her, she's got a small role in 28 Years Later. And I think I've not seen it yet, but I think when I looked at her IMDb, she's in The Bone Temple, the sequel to that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe she's in that a bit more. But her Scottish accent's very, very good. Very good. Like,
yeah.
I was surprised when I looked her up and she wasn't Scottish, actually.
I mean, this is the first thing I've seen her in. I haven't seen the 28 Days Later. She's in a lot of a show I've really been meaning to watch, Mayor of Kingston or Kingstown.
Right.
I've been meaning to watch that, and she's in that. Apparently, it's fantastic. I'm going to try and watch that shortly.
That's the Jeremy Renner one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a revelation in this. She's great. She commands the screen. She's, you know, has me invested in the character, and I care, and I was kind of, mesmerized by her performance. A lot of it is to do with the things she has to do with, in terms of the floating, and when she sees Aaron, the sparks in her eyes and things like that. So she has to deliver a really good performance. But yeah, I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah, she's very good in it. Yeah, I kind of felt like, you know, they sort of sacrificed pace for style. You know what I mean? A little bit.
I can see that. I mean, some of my favourite scenes are maybe scenes that I don't know, like there's a scene, I think in episode 5 or 6, I think, where Dylan's in the car with Shannon and they stop and she goes into the shop. He goes into the shop and she sits in the car, and you know, the camera's just focusing, just sits there for like a minute, nothing happens, and then she comes back, and little scenes like that I just absolutely love. You see Dylan outside on the phone, and you see the whole conversation, you can't hear a thing. And then he smashes the car window. And yeah, I was in love with kind of scenes like that. I thought they were fantastic.
I don't know. I couldn't really get on board with that. It's because it kind of feels a bit like there's a bit of Baz Luhrmann influence in there. There's a little bit of sort of unmoderated Danny Boyle style in there as well, you know. Whereas I think, you know, Danny Boyle is able to do that kind of thing because he also knows when to show a bit of restraint as well. With some of this sort of metaphorical stuff, you know, like sort of rent and going down the toilet in Train Spotting and sinking into the floor and all that kind of thing, you know, like, because it's done sort of sparingly. You know, I felt like these guys were a bit heavy-handed with that sort of stuff.
There were a few that I kind of was like, I think there's a scene in one of the latter episodes where it's kind of blood red and Sam's kind of doing a dance and killing people, and I
fucking hated that the most. Yeah.
Yeah. I even thought the battle, you know, at the race course was a bit overdone and kind of really took me out a little bit of the kind of realism. Where it worked was, I thought, like the first episode where you are with Shannon and, shall we just say, she is enjoying herself alone whilst thinking about Aaron, and you have the electricity kind of going through the streets as the car is driving, and you see her writhing on the bed, and then you see the police kind of coming into the house, and I thought that was really effectively done. But I agree, some of the latter things with that Sam one I thought that this is a bit too much, I think.
I mean, usually we would go sort of down a list of actors, starting with like the kind of leads, but Neil Leeper, who plays Sam. Now, you know, I've never been in anything, right? And I don't really have the right here, but I don't know, I found a better actor to play that part.
Yeah, he hasn't been in his acting career seems to have picked up. He's been on the pod before. He's been in Beats. He's been in the Angels Share, and I noticed in the last 3 years he's been in a lot more things. So it seems that he's coming up. Obviously, he's playing the heavy in probably a lot of things, and I think we'll be speaking about him a lot on the pod in the future in terms of him popping up as that guy. But maybe. I agree. Yeah, I think he plays the role quite well in terms of what he's trying to do. Or you just think he was too? I don't believe
delivery.
It,
If it doesn't feel I go to sound pretentious, and like I say, I've got no right to say this because I've never my acting career is incredibly limited to basically stuff at school. But when he as he delivers his lines, it kind of feels it feels like it's just a script they're just lines that he's learned. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like he's if you take someone like Emma Laird and Sam Riley as two examples, I really feel like they've thrown themselves into the role. You know what I mean? Like really, really living the characters of Dylan and Emma. I just didn't, I think probably because they're both so good, I think it kind of shows his shortcomings a bit compared to them. I mean, even the actor who plays Aaron's brother, Connor Newell, if there's the Angelo, I'm not sure. Don't get many of them. Don't get many of them in Grangemouth, But he's pretty good, I think. He was all right, He's got a really good face, that actor,
For the role he's playing, he's perfect. He's great.
Yeah, I just thought that. I think kind of good luck to him. Because to go from sort of small parts and independent films to, this is a major drama for the BBC. You can see the money that's been invested in this production.
Oh yeah,
and they've marketed the hell out of it as well. So to get into scenes with actors like Lindsay Duncan and Sam Riley and Laura Fraser, fair play to him. I just felt. I don't know. I didn't really believe him as this vicious, ruthless, sort of ambitious gangster. To be honest, I found them very difficult to get on board with.
Okay.
Sorry, Neil.
Fair enough.
But you've acted in 100% more things than I ever will. So good luck to you, mate.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Where do you want to go next in terms of the cast?
Well, why don't we go to Laura Fraser, because she is a Swally favourite.
Yes. I'm obviously a huge fan of Laura Fraser. Always have been, always will be. You kind of see a different side to Laura Fraser in this. You see a different side to her in a lot of things she's in, but she plays this role, I think, very well. It's almost like a Stepford wife to begin with. She's she's told, but everything's got to be just so, and then you get to see her be a bit psychotic and kind of let loose, around about the end of episode 3. Then she's devastated for a while. She has some brilliant lines. There's a couple of great lines that she delivers in this. And I thought she was fantastic. She goes on a total journey in this. And she's in my absolute favourite scene of the whole show is the scene with her and Lindsay Duncan as Ollie when they're sat in the cafe and they're speaking about Glass the Cunt. That's just, I love that scene so much. But a great performance from Fraser.
Yeah.
Did you not agree?
It's it's not my favourite Laura Fraser performance, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I mean, she anchors a lot of this, I think.
Yeah.
In a lot, she definitely kind of anchors it. She does bring a lot of gravitas to a lot of these scenes. But then you have this you have the scene where she goes out on the lash with Ollie, Lindsay Duncan's character, and she ends up winching this guy in the toilets. Buster. And it's a bit cringy. Now, maybe it's supposed to be, right? But, it's a bit, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like Laura Fraser having to do scenes like this.
I felt sorry for Kat. She's, as we later find out, she's been pushed into this marriage with Dylan. She's thought everything was fine. It was true love. She's been blissfully unaware for all these years. They have these 2 kids, and then all of a sudden, she finds out her husband's gone. he's abandoned her for another man. Like, she sacrificed her life for the good of this family, you know, so to speak, and as we find out later, that's the path these women go on. And here she is abandoned. And she's so paranoid, like she knows something's up. Like when the woman says hello to Dylan in the supermarket and she screams, like, are you fucking that whore? It's like sheer desperation. But then the humour, I absolutely love the scene in episode 4 where her and Dylan are having dinner with Sam and his partner Jackie. And Dylan's already told her he doesn't love her and she's been blindsided. But the way she says to Jackie, like, oh, by the way, that garlic bread's got a wee bit of butter in it. When she knows that Jackie's vegan, it's just fucking brilliant. You know, she's purposely served a dish that she can't eat and then has served her garlic bread that's got butter in it. Fucking awesome. I love that.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't want to pour scorn on Laura Fraser. It feels like blasphemy to do that. You know, she's in some of my favourite ever Scottish films.
Yeah.
With
Flying
and TV
Scotsman.
shows. Yeah. Flying Scotsman, yeah, Small Faces. But look, you know, I think we needed her, well, I needed her, like an actor like her in this, I think.
Okay. Yeah, she is kind of the glue that holds it all together. She has the interaction with the characters. Without her, you know, we might not see as much of Lewis Gribben. You know, she goes to university to visit Luke. And yeah, there's kind of cheesy interaction mostly with Ollie and obviously with Shannon. She knows she's the one that tells her about Aaron, that she can't see him. And yeah, she is the glue, really. You're right, that holds all of this together. Spot on.
Yeah. I mean, one of the first notes that I've written in my book, which I've obviously written quite early on, is Laura Fraser good in this?
Oh,
So
I see.
I obviously wasn't convinced in the first episode, but you know, I think there is a lot that I like about her performance in this. She's for me, she's definitely one of the more likable characters, and I think of all the characters in it, the only two that I really cared about were her and Shannon, and I suppose Luke, just because I like Lewis Gribben.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I couldn't care about. I didn't care about at all.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I don't know. I cared about Aaron, and yeah, I was shocked. Okay, so Aaron, played by Ben Coyle Larner, or better known as Coyle Larner, UK rapper, making his acting debut. I will forever, I say forever, it's only been a week and a bit, be grateful. I'll be grateful to Mint for introducing me to Coyle Larner's music, because
I've not listened.
I have been listening to him all week. He is fucking sensational.
Okay.
I was playing him on Sunday. My girlfriend went out and I was doing some work and I was playing him on the Sonos, and she came in and she went, who's this? This is amazing. And I was like, yeah, I've been listening to this all week. UK rapper, very kind of jazzy, but upbeat, but chilled. You can have it on in the background. Almost like Mos Def, Back on Both Sides. Kind of that vibe, like a bit chilled, but, you know, kind of jazzy. You walk down the street. I fucking loved his music. I like him in this, and I cared for him, and I was shocked. I remember I watched episode 4, and I was like, right, I'm going to go to bed after episode 4. And the end happened, which is so well done, when you just see the guy coming from behind the car, you see the gun, you hear the bang. I'm like, well, I have to watch the next episode now, or at least the start, because there's no way he's dead. It's just episode 4. Then, no, episode 5, it's his funeral, and yeah, he's gone. That really shocked me. And big twist. But I cared for Aaron. I know he's not in it a lot, but I thought he was good. And I mean, or was he? He was basically telling all the secrets to his brother, but he was honest, and he's like, I have to, it's family. You know, Shannon was at fault for telling him.
I liked him. You know, I liked the character. The only thing was, I don't think that the script really does him justice, because his backstory is he's you know, I think they've him and Leangelo have the same dad, different mums, and he's gone off to England to live with his mum, and then Leangelo was asked him to come back because he needs his help. Yeah, but as far as I can tell, he just needs his help in the garage.
Well, I think he needs his help with fighting as well, and sorting stuff out. Too much work on.
But there's nothing to... We never see anything that suggests that Aaron is a good guy to have in a fight. He's never tested or... You know, he just seems like a really nice, down-to-earth guy that's, you know, that can fix an engine if he has to.
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing I did have about this show as well, like the details of like the criminal operations that like Dylan and Leangelo are running is never quite clear. I guess you're just meant to assume it's drugs or general threats of violence or something, like, but how the family make their money is unclear. If it's protection or drugs or gun running or I don't know, selling scratch cards or something, I've no idea.
Maybe they've got rival sweetie factories making mints and that's why it's called mint, maybe.
That's not a bad suggestion, actually. Yeah, it could well be. But yeah, it's never quite clear, so I don't quite get it as well. You're right, why he needs his help, but I think he's in the fight in the at the race course. So
oh yeah, so he is. Yeah. I forgot about that. But then so is Shannon. But is she?
Well, she comes back in to witness it. Yeah. She sees it, and then you see them, and then it's the next episode. But
she gets ready. She'll pull the hairpin out or something, and is ready to get stuck in at one point.
Yeah.
Or is that just her fantasy of wanting to? She has this desire to be as much as she's looking for a boyfriend, she also wants to be a gangstress.
But does she? That's the thing, does she? I mean, her dad's kind of sheltered her away, but this is what's unclear. You think he sheltered her because he doesn't want her to be dating any guys in the business. He doesn't want her kind of there, but then he's involving her in stuff by telling her, you know, when he takes her downstairs to introduce her to the guy and his son who eventually he's going to make fight in the garden. And Luke, you know, hints at it when Kat goes to see him at university that Dad, he did try and get them into the business. So it's a bit unclear that he's protective, but he's not that protective, but he hasn't told her about the past. But yeah, a bit unclear on that. So I don't know if she does want to be like a gangster's moll or if she does want to go off. But what I did think was good, you know, as the character progresses, she does kind of accept her fate towards the end of this is what I'm going to have to do. And I thought that was beautiful in the last couple of episodes, or the last episode in particular, where you have the three generations of family, the women, and they're the ones that have to sort things out. And they're the ones that are stepping up. And I thought that was a wonderful kind of message of that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess she does want to be involved in the world. I don't know. That was unclear too.
Yeah, maybe. It's just, it's not, I don't know, like, her motivations are really clear up until sort of episode 5 after Aaron's been killed, and there's that weird episode where she's hanging out with the little girl. I'm not sure who the little girl's, what she's supposed to represent.
I guess her inner child or something, or something, lost or fear. Yeah, not sure. Yeah, that was a strange episode. She kind of spoke to Aaron through it reminded me of that Doctor Who creature that's just like a big face stretched. It kind of looked a bit like that. Or if it was like, when you see the baby and look who's talking in the womb. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, that was more convincing, to be honest. I mean, I found, I mean, what the fuck was all that about? That's the problem that I had with this, right? So she meets him at a train station, right? He's waiting on one side for what? To be picked up by his brother. She's waiting on the other side of the tracks.
He's just got off the train came.
But she's waiting on the other side for her brother to get off the train. And okay, it's love at first sight. Right, okay, fair enough. Most of the time when they're together, she is defensive with him. You know what I mean? There's not many tender moments between them. But then, you know, she loves him so much that she's able to communicate with him beyond the grave. Because this wee girl, who may or may not represent her inner child, has got the gift. I was just like, fuck off, come on.
For the inner child says, don't tell anyone, they won't believe you.
I mean, I don't want to like criticise your enjoyment of this, but it did occur to me, is this a gangster drama for the Twilight generation? Of which I am not a member. When I say Twilight, I don't mean like old people. I mean fans of the Twilight books. Like, I'm thinking, would my 15, soon to be 16-year-old daughter, who is macheting her way through the Hunger Games books, the Twilight books, amongst other things, would she enjoy this? Is it more for her than it is for an almost 50-year-old curmudgeon like me, you know?
Possibly. Maybe it's just not for you, Greg. I mean, I would put it like, come on, it's like Dinosaur. We love Dinosaur. It's but this is just they've tried too hard. Dinosaur's good.
Dinosaur's brimming with charm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Ashley's story is, I think in Dinosaur, she's absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? It's something, she obviously knows a lot about neurodivergency and everything, but she plays it brilliantly. And she's really funny. And she's surrounded herself she's surrounded by people who are oozing charm and are really funny as well. I didn't find this to be particularly charming. The only time that my spirits raised was when Stephen McCall came on for the racecourse screen. I was like, yes. But I didn't realise he was in this. And then he's only there. It's really just a walk on, just and for the short amount of time that he's there, he's good, But then he's gone again. He's only in one episode.
I mean, yeah, I did let out similar when Stephen McCall came on, and then vanishes. I was expecting him to come back. Obviously, we're not comparing this to Dinosaur, but one actor who links both of them is David Carlisle, popping up again for his third episode this year. Is it Dinosaur? I swear. Now this. He's an actor I really, really like. And he plays the role of Tom so well. Like, you just can imagine the shit he's probably to put up with to be with Dylan all this time. And he seems like a lovely chap, and I just kind of feel sorry for him. And he just wants to live happily ever after with Dylan. And yeah, you don't know how long this has been going on, but I was so pleased to see him in this. And again, it's a different performance from him, but he's still so charismatic. He reminds me so much of our friend Scott. Like, he just really is like him.
Yeah.
And I think he's a wonderful actor. So I was really pleased when he popped up in this.
Yeah, he is good in it. It's a very different performance from his performance in Dinosaur. He's sort of, there's a lot of kind of comedy relief, really. Well, it's not comedy relief because Dinosaur's a comedy, but he has some of the best lines, and he gets some of the best things to do in that. The first thing that I really remember seeing him in was It's a Sin, the Russell T Davies drama about HIV in the gay community in London in the 80s, which, if you've not seen, I know you've seen it, but listeners, if you've not seen It's a Sin, it's a phenomenal bit of television. It's incredibly powerful. And he plays quite a tragic character in that, amongst a lot of tragic characters, it has to be said. So yeah, that was, I hadn't, and then obviously I Swear, a slightly smaller part. But yeah, he is good in it. The thing is though, at the very beginning, when he first comes on, and we understand that him and Aaron are in a relationship, maybe it's because I was watching that episode on my iPad or what, but for some reason I thought Aaron was in a relationship with Sam, because they both had the beards. And I thought, that's the twist. Sam and Aaron are together. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Why are they going to the hospital? And like, why is like Sam's whole demeanour completely changed? And then I was like, because it's fucking not Sam. It's Tom.
Easy mistake to make. Both bald men with beards and both quite big. But yeah. The one thing I can't work out, and maybe I missed something, or I don't know. So Clive Russell, who plays Andy, fucking evil bastard, fantastic character. And Clive Russell is just perfect for this role, because you believe him as an absolute hard as fuck arsehole with zero morals. I believe him as a fucking crime boss, and it's all old school business. But he forces Dylan into this marriage with Kat. It's an arranged marriage because effectively it's kind of good for business, because she's the daughter of a business associate. But it's not clear. Do you think, did he know that Dylan was gay? And that's why it's arranged? Because later on, obviously, when he's speaking to Ollie in prison and he says, tell him it's fucking Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, you're like, okay, has he just found this out? Or did he know all along? Is that why he's pushed him into the marriage? I wasn't sure about that, but I guess maybe we're not meant to know, or I don't know.
Yeah, he does take it, I don't want to say well, but he's not like, when you see how he is portrayed in the flashback scenes, and even in conversations between him and Ollie, and later on Kat and stuff. You know, he's this sort of, I don't know, emotional, aggressive kind of guy, but he does seem, you expect him to like be flipping over tables when he finds out that we can only assume his only son is a homosexual.
Yeah.
You know, just because of the way, and he does kind of, so I guess that probably does suggest that at the very, if he didn't know, he at least had his suspicions. But it's a good part for Clive Russell because, you know, he's played, you know, we've seen him play sort of dangerous guys, either good or bad characters in the past, but he tends to be sort of quiet but imposing as opposed to sort of psycho and imposing like he is in this.
Yeah.
It's interesting to know that in his IMDb profile picture, he looks quite a lot like Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, I saw that. Yes. Fantastic.
So much so I had to do a bit of a double take. That's this.
Am I on the wrong page here? Yeah, I just wondered because you're right. He maybe didn't flip over tables in prison because that would be an act of violence. And of course, as he says, every man needs a bit of pussy after a bit of violence. So he's not going to get any of that in prison. So he's obviously, unfortunately, there.
No. You deserve it. You do. I've got you a missus. She'll be your wife. It's a kind of arranged marriage. Her family's in the same business, easy to control, weaker than us. She's perfect, and she's a right stunner. She wasn't 15, I would.
But yeah, I thought he was great in this and a right evil bastard. You know, when Kat's trying to negotiate with him and he's just having none and then he double crosses by telling Sam. I thought that was very well done. Absolute arsehole till the end.
The other thing that I noticed in this is that is it supposed to be a bit of a period piece because the tech is quite old. You know, it's old phones and an iPod at one point, and I wasn't sure, but then like Kat's car seemed pretty new. There was things that I did see. Now I think about it, because like their phones are pretty old. And, you know, eating at old diners, stopping at old petrol stations, you're right. But there's a couple of little things that seem to make it a bit more up to date, I think. But yeah, maybe kind of a bit ambiguous, you know, as we've kind of spoken about a couple of times on the pod stuff. Not quite sure, kind of timeless, a bit like Lock, Stock in a way. Yeah, so that's probably a good one to compare it with, because Lock, Stock's a bit its own world, right? Same as Snatch, and that's maybe what they've gone for here. It's sort of, you know, it's its own sort of thing. I mean, you know, there's a couple of things. Obviously, we've mentioned it's not exactly clear why it's called Mint. I've given my theory. I'm pretty sure that that's not why it's called Mint. The one for me that is too ambiguous is, so Shannon takes the decision that, well, Kat and Ollie feel that they need to get Sam out the picture, right? Because he's not running the family the way he's supposed to. And you're like, well, you know, apart from the fact that he seems to shoot LaAngelo and a few other guys, it's not really clear as to why.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's decided that he needs to go, and they try to get Clive Russell's character Andy to do it, to tell him that he can't, to get him out of the picture, but he doesn't want to. And so then Shannon, she says that she's going to get rid of him because she's got to keep everybody safe. Right, but keep everybody safe from what? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like it feels like he's gotten rid of the rival family. So, you know, keep him. You know, what is she keeping everybody safe from? It's not clear, because it's never really clear as to why these two families are so at odds with each other either. You know,
I presumed it was because Sam's so out of control. It's like, right, he's taken out the opposition. What's he going to do next? You're kind of assuming that they're worried that with Dylan leaving, they're going to not get the lifestyle they were accustomed to, the protection, things like that. And if Dylan had just stepped away from the business and concentrated on the family, he would probably still have that by association, be able to be protected. But because he's gone and shacked up with Tom, they feel maybe exposed and that he's doing the wrong things. And of course, Shannon just wants revenge because she knows he killed Aaron.
Yeah.
Or had Aaron
Well, that would
killed.
be clearer.
So that's why Shannon's after him, But she does say when she sees the vision of Aaron for the second time, I'm doing this for you. So
No, I remember now. It's because I only watched it the one time. That's why. Instead of watching it twice. Perhaps. And they leave it. They're obviously hoping to get another series commissioned because it's a very abrupt ending to the last episode.
It is. I mean, I think it would deserve another series. I would definitely watch another series unless they were doing a lot of the talking to dead Aaron. Maybe not. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought the acting was really good, and I thought it was well balanced. It was gentle. It was funny in places. It wasn't too dramatic. It wasn't too anxiety inducing. I liked the characters, and I found it a bit unpredictable. Like, it kept me intrigued because I have to admit, I think maybe episode 5 I was a bit like, okay, and then 6 maybe a little bit, but like 7 and 8 I just raced through. I thought they were great.
I've written down here, and I can't remember why, but I've written down episode 7 utter pish. And I think that's the episode when Dylan's trying to sort of reconnect with Shannon.
I like that episode. That's the one with Kat and Ollie in the cafe and stuff. And I liked that episode.
Sorry.
Oh well. Well, it's a strange one for the Swally that we're at kind of opposite ends of this, but never mind. But I would.
There's a lot I agree with you, and I think with the exception of Neil Leeper, I think everybody's very good in it. I think I just couldn't get on board with the pacing. I felt that some of the twists. I don't know. I just, the whole, Dylan coming out and leaving his family and, because he first says he's taking a step back from the business to spend more time with his family. But his children are adults. Shannon's 23. Luke must be maybe close in age if he's at university, maybe 21. It's just him and Kat. It's just such a weird... I don't know why. If perhaps if they had him coming out to her at that point, rather than because then you have this whole episode when they go to the race course and Ollie finds out that he's going to step down and blah blah blah, and Kat and Ollie have that spat and everything else. I felt. And look, fucking hell, what do I know about pacing and narration and nothing really. But for me, it just was a bit. I don't know. I just found it a little bit difficult to get on board with. And some of the flashier sequences, and they're supposed to be metaphors for different things. And, we keep getting the sort of shots of the power plant. I'm not sure, I know that power plant pretty well. So I used to drive past it a lot when I would be driving on the M9. When I lived in that neck of the woods, what's it supposed to represent?
Yeah, I did wonder that if it was just meant to show the industrial nature of the business and the smog and the overarching kind of industrialness of the town. I don't know, but there was a lot of shots of it. Yeah, just to keep reminding you.
They really kind of sort of hit you over the head with it. And it was quite. I did see a few places that I recognised. There's quite a few scenes filmed in Cumbernauld, in the same sort of neighbourhoods where Gregory's Girl was filmed, which was quite cool. It's always nice to see places that we said before, places that you recognise on the television, right? That you know well. But and hopefully, if you haven't watched Mint, you have waited to hear us talk about it before you watch it, because we've ruined a lot of the twists and turns, and you certainly shouldn't not watch it because I didn't care for it that much. You know what I mean? There's certainly a lot to like in it as well, and there were things that I liked in it. But yeah, I've got to be honest. I had it in my head that it was 6 episodes, and so I was like, I'm almost at I'm almost at episode 6. And then I realised that there was another hour of it, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, 2 episodes.
I wish I could have seen the disappointment in your face when you realised there's another 2 episodes.
Oh, no. Like, things don't feel like they're kind of hurtling towards a conclusion here, and we're getting pretty far into episode 6, you know? Anyway.
Yeah, random choice, 8 episodes. But anyway, yeah, that was Mint, available on BBC iPlayer.
I'm sure probably. I think it's done well. So I'm sure other carriers will be showing it in other parts of who usually shows BBC in the US. Hulu, is it?
I think it depends. I think it's like Showtime or HBO sometimes.
BBC America they still exist.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it's different channels. Yeah, it just depends.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're not in the UK, I'm sure there's ways and means of watching Mint legally or otherwise. But anyway, shall we put Mint through our Swally Awards?
Let's do it, Craig.
Okay, so our first award is our Bobby the Barman Award for the best pub. Not a lot of pub action in this.
No, there's not. There's the pub, the kind of social club that Ollie and Kat are in episode 7.
Yeah,
that
she meets Buster,
Yeah.
the Fario with the curly hair.
It's a bit like a British Legion or something, but yeah, that looked like a nice wee place.
Yeah, it looked okay. I mean, they do use Charlie Chan's, which is a Chinese restaurant outside Cumbernauld, an actual Chinese restaurant outside Cumbernauld.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's licensed or not, and certainly the characters aren't drinking in it, so maybe it's not. But I had that down solely because it's a real place.
Yeah.
It was quite cool to see and I didn't realise it was shut down, but the Six Sisters shopping centre in West Calder near Livingston, because it was only open for 8 years. It's not a long time.
That's crazy.
It closed in 2004. I remember I never went to it, but I remember it being advertised on the television. Like, you know, like when you would have sort of local adverts in between the 6 o'clock Grampian News or STV or something like that. But I suppose it makes for a good set. It's just weird that it's abandoned and all overgrown. It's like something out of The Walking Dead or something like that, you know? Yeah. Next, then, and a few candidates here. It's the James Cosmo Award, our patron saint. We give this award to actors who tend to show up in some shape or form in a lot of Scottish productions.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 clear candidates. I went with Clive Russell.
Okay.
McCall and Fraser both up there as well. But what about you? Who did you go for?
I went with McCall just because I don't know. I feel that Clive Russell is a bit. He's a bit Hollywood. He's in Game of Thrones. Clive Russell, for goodness' sake.
I don't
know. But then so was Cosmo.
The award's named after Cosmo. So.
Yeah. I just because we came up with this award because there was a time when Cosmo was the one that was in everything from Taggart to Highlander, you know, and everything in between. Obviously, as he's got older, he's maybe slowed down slightly, but Stephen McCall, who has got an album out, I think, for his Instagram. He's released his own album. Yeah. So
I need to update the Swally tally. It's been a long time, actually.
It's been years.
I think I did it recently, but didn't put it out.
Right. Okay.
I will try and do that because the longer I leave it, the more of a fucking Herculean task it becomes. I think Stephen McCall was leading the way, but then he's been in this. We've had Peter Mullen in a couple of things. He was snapping behind him. I will update the tally one of these days soon and find out.
Okay, the next award then is our Jake McQuillan Award for being in everything Scottish. I initially wrote down the toilet assault that Sam commits on Angelo, but then I changed just because it was a bit more unexpected. It was Aaron giving the traffic warden a kick-in outside the hospital.
Yeah, I went with Dylan sticking the head on the traffic warden.
Dylan, not Aaron. Beg your pardon. Dylan, yeah.
Yeah, I went with that. That was a bit of an unprovoked assault. I didn't see that coming, but yeah, that's what I went with.
Next award is the Francis Begbie Award for Gratuitous Language. This is quite sweary.
Yeah.
But I was really surprised when Shannon called her dad a cunt. I got to be honest.
It's used quite liberally, yeah. Yeah, I had Ollie speaking to Kat about revenge. I glassed the cunt.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Dylan Dylan's dad. Tell the cunt it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. It's It's used correctly though throughout the film, throughout the series. So yeah, no qualms.
Triple C-bomb there. Next would be your Hugh McGregor Award for gratuitous nudity. There was none. People keep their clothes on in this one. So I'll go straight on to the next award then, which is our archetypal Scottish moment.
I went with Ollie telling Kat to grab life by the tadger.
I went for the use of the verb neddy to describe spaghetti bolognese.
There is one point where Ollie says to Kat, "You're such a fanny that you can't even keep control of your family." Yeah. And I thought that was just calling someone a fanny is a very Scottish thing.
Okay, and then the next, our final awards, the Big Tam Awards. Who wins Mint?
I went with Emma Laird as Shannon for me.
I did as well. I think she carries it all the way through. She's very good in it, and her Scottish accent is superb.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, definitely. 100% give it to her.
So that's Mint. 8 30-minute episodes, all available on the BBC iPlayer. It was my choice. I don't regret it. It's the first time that I've watched something for in 100 and almost 60 episodes where I haven't, that I really haven't liked usually. Yeah. And I still found things that I liked in this, despite not really liking it overall. But that's a first for me, and it's certainly the first that we've been so odds about how we felt about something. Yeah. But there you go. That's life. But I chose Mint. It was my choice, which means that it's your turn to choose for the next episode. So what are we watching?
Well, Greg, our next episode comes out on the 11th of June, which is the first day of the 2026 World Cup, in which Scotland will be participating. So we are having a World Cup special. That's right. We are going to forgo the news on the next episode. We're going to be talking about our favourite Scotland kits from the past. And for watching pleasure, we're going to go back to a previous World Cup, Greg, with Scotland in Italia 90, as we catch up with Rab, Jamesy and wee Bernie as they travel to Italy to see Scotland play in the World Cup, taking frail and elderly ex-soccer star Matt Fernie, played by Stanley Baxter, with them. It's the 1991 Rabsy Nesbitt special Fitba, which is available on YouTube and probably iPlayer at the moment, and it's only like 42 minutes long. So it's just an episode of Rabsy Nesbitt Fitba on the next episode of the Culture Swally World Cup special.
Brilliant. I look forward to watching that. I must have seen that.
You will have, yeah. You definitely have.
But probably once.
Yeah.
36 years ago when it came out. So.
Maybe. I think it was on one of the VHS, or it came out as a VHS on its own. Because that was when they obviously marketed it. But you will definitely have seen it, I'm sure. It's basically just them. It's a four-hander. I think Rafferty's in like a couple of scenes, and of course Jonathan Watson pops up. But I don't know Colleen C. Smith's in it. Okay. So yeah.
Maybe I haven't seen it then. Oh yeah, brilliant. I look forward to watching that.
Wonderful. Right. Well, thank you very much for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can. Email us, cultureswally@gmail.com, with anything you've seen in the news or anything you'd like us to cover. Or if you just want to say hello and give us a little rating, review, subscription, anywhere you get your podcasts, whatever. Tell a friend. Help the podcast to grow. And Greg, we've got a wonderful website as well, don't we?
We do. You can reach us at cultureswally.com. Links to all their episodes and links to all their socials. And as we're going to be talking about our favourite Scotland strips from over the last, well, in my case, 40, I was born in a World Cup year, so 48 years nearly. Why don't you let us know your personal favourites? And we can tell you if you're right or wrong.
This episode will probably go out after we've recorded the next episode. That's okay.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, we can
just get in touch.
Get in touch, yeah.
We'll do it for the next, because we'll be speaking about it a lot in the following episode, because I'll have been to the Scotland game, so we'll be discussing that. Yeah. And we'll be well in the World Cup journey by that point, so we'll be very depressed by that. So,
yeah.
All
Indeed,
good.
indeed. Let's see what the Scotland players can do. Let's see what the Scotland football players can do on the football pitch, as Chris Boyd might frame it.
There was the announcement of the squad today. Did you see the video with Ewan McGregor?
I have not had the chance. I've been 100 miles an hour all day today. So.
If you go on Insta, you'll see it. I believe the Swally reposted it. So, yeah, we're behind the team. Wonderful. Right, well then, buddy, I will let you go because I know it's a weeknight and you've been hell for leather all day. So enjoy, and I'll speak to you next time.
Until next time.
When my Andy cheated on me, I grabbed the problem by the tatcher. Not Andy's tatcher, he was inside when I found out, or I would have chopped it clean off. No, I went round to the girl's house, waited outside till she was all dolled up, heading on a night out. Beer bottle in hand. I glassed the cunt.